Hello guys, and welcome to another discussion video. And I've noticed something over the past decade with Mario spin-offs, and that's the fact that the rosters have been kind of disappointing. Like looking at things like Mario Kart 8, and more recently with Mario Strikers Battle League, there really doesn't seem to be that kick that the older rosters from the 2000s had, and it's kind of disappointing. Like, my main problem with the rosters nowadays is that they just feel too safe. Like, they're mostly just having the core Mario cast, which is fine. I mean, that's going to be in every game. And then after that, the picks aren't really that interesting. I mean, they only really limit themselves to, like, the Mario enemies and then clone characters. And while I do like Mario enemies in spin-offs, I feel like they're definitely a good addition. Like, I really like to play as Shy Guy in various games, or Dry Bones. I really like to play as those characters, but I really feel like there should be more interesting picks from throughout the Mario franchise. Like, there's a whole franchise that there's so many, like, original characters from stuff like 3D Mario, the RPGs, WarioWare and Wario Land, Luigi's Mansion, Donkey Kong Country. There's so many characters from those series that could be pulled from, but Nintendo chooses not to for some reason. Like, there's so many great characters they could use, like, from 3D Mario. There's, like, all of the different NPCs and characters from Super Mario Odyssey. There's a perfect one, Cappy, that they could use. I know Cappy would be weird in, like, something like Mario Kart, but I could see him working. Then there's RPGs, there's so many characters. Even a couple characters in the newer games. I know the newer games have been pretty restrictive and light on characters, which is a whole discussion on its own. But in general, there are a lot of characters they could choose from, like Boffle, Vivian, Goombario, different characters like that, and I feel like that's definitely missed potential that they haven't added like almost any of the Mario RPG characters in spin-offs. Well, at least in rosters. I mean, they have put Goomba King in the Star Spirits and other games, but they really haven't done anything in terms of like a roster with RPG characters. So I know a lot of people have been saying that they're too obscure, but I mean, I feel like it's good to have more obscure picks sometimes in certain games. Like Kirby is a good example of that. Kirby, the Kirby series really knows how to pull from like the more obscure games and more obscure picks because it's really interesting and the fans always like it when there's a certain character added, and I just really like it in general when they do more obscure picks in Kirby and they really celebrate that franchise. That's really something I want them to do for the Mario franchise. I really want them to see, like, I really want them to embrace the franchise in general. And then I think, like, even stuff from, like I mentioned, like Luigi's Mansion, Donkey Kong Country, the Wario series, I feel like there's a lot of things to pull from. And it would just make the rosters more unique and more varied overall. Like, it's always nice to see some characters that you're not familiar with, because you could kind of learn about that character and eventually play the games that they're from. I feel like that's kind of the point of, like, large rosters and different things, since Super Smash Bros. Introduced me to a lot of different series, like Earthbound, Xenoblade, and different things like that, so I think it would be cool if something like Mario Kart did the same thing, like it had characters from like Wario or the Mario RPGs that could definitely introduce people to those series. And I just think it would definitely make it more interesting overall, rather than reusing the same characters over and over again. I think it would be interesting to add some new characters into the mix and have something interesting. I know it always is interesting to see like a character that hasn't been playable before, like in Mario Golf Super Rush, there was Ninji, and then King Bob-omb. I know King Bob-omb was in Mario Kart Tour, but still a fairly new character. Those are nice, and I feel like that definitely is a step in the right direction, but I definitely feel like there should be more. And one thing that I feel is preventing this to happen, or has prevented it from happening in the past, is any restrictions that Nintendo has put on the Mario franchise. I don't really think that's the case nowadays during the Switch era. things like Super Mario Odyssey, Mario plus Rabbids can happen, even Mario Strikers, even though I will get into that later about the roster of that game. That was kind of underwhelming. But as a game in general, I wouldn't say it was really playing it that safe. I feel like it was definitely, I wouldn't say it held up to the older ones, but I would still say it still had a lot of energy in it, and it definitely didn't hold back too much. So I feel like during the Switch era, things have definitely been getting better for the Mario franchise. But back during the Wii U and 3DS era, I feel like things were definitely a little more restrictive when it came to characters in the Mario franchise. It really only limited the series to only the core cast and the enemies, and that was about it. So I feel like nowadays it's just the fact that they don't really want to put in the effort of creating all of these new models for the characters and having the time to put them in. But I really feel like it would definitely be beneficial overall if they added like more unique characters from throughout the Mario franchise. And I feel like one of the things they have been doing, like specifically in Mario Kart, that has been limiting the rosters, is adding too many clone characters. I feel like clone characters is definitely Nintendo trying to give an excuse not to have interesting characters. They put Pink Peach in instead of Birdo or Diddy Kong, like leaving out like so many interesting characters and just putting in these like basically alts that are disguised as actual characters. Like, there's really no reason for all of those characters in Mario Kart to be their own separate character, other than the fact that they're different weight classes. I mean, it's just really disappointing that they really messed up that roster, I would say. And I know this is a different topic, but I feel like that roster definitely needs to be improved, and it definitely needs like a DLC or something to be improved, because I know Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is currently getting DLC, but it's just kind of disappointing that Nintendo has been limiting the rosters of the Mario franchise in different ways. And another way they've been doing it is having a lack of even the core characters at launch. And I know this kind of ties into the fix-it-later approach and the free update model, but it also kind of deals with the Mario franchise in general in terms of like rosters and different things. Because I feel like it's pretty concerning that even Daisy was left out of the base roster of Battle League. And then when you look at Mario Kart, which is also, like, over the past decade, they've also been leaving out characters as well. Like, in the base version of Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, they left out Bowser Jr. and King Boo and different things like that. So, and they didn't add them in until 8 Deluxe. And then, even in 8 Deluxe, they don't have Diddy Kong or Birdo. It's kind of disappointing that they're just leaving out all of these memorable characters. And with some games, they use that as an excuse to add them in after launch and everything. And that just really makes the post-launch characters not really that interesting. Like, I mean, I like characters like Daisy and Shy Guy, but they're really characters that should be in the base roster. I mean, I think it would be really cool if the DLC or update characters are more interesting picks. Like the ones I mentioned, like what characters from 3D Mario, the RPGs, like WarioWare, Wario Land, Luigi's Mansion, characters like that would be interesting for post-launch DLC or updates. Not really characters that you'd already expect to see in the game. It's pretty disappointing, honestly. I would also say there's a problem with rosters being too small in general, and this also ties in with the last topic, kind of tying into the, like, basically the free update model, but this also has been the case for things like Mario Party Superstars as well. And it's basically, the rosters are too small, and they're limiting it to only the core characters, and I feel like that's also a disappointing aspect on its own, because that also means that there's really not much choice when it comes to the roster. There's only like a few different characters. At least something with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, while the roster plays it pretty safe, at least there's a lot of options there. But the rosters of Battle League and Mario Party Superstars, I do like those games, but this is like the one problem I have with them. And it's just, there's not really much to them. It's just pretty disappointing. Like, you're definitely gonna see the same characters over and over again, like when you're playing online games, and it's just, I feel like that's definitely an excuse not to have more interesting characters, but to limit it. So, that's definitely another problem that I have, is that the rosters are just too small in general sometimes. That's not always the case, because I do feel like Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, Super Mario Party, those did have bigger rosters, but I do think sometimes it can negatively affect games like Battle League and Mario Party Superstars, because I definitely feel like Nintendo pushes how small the roster of a certain game can be nowadays, since they're doing like the free updates and everything. So yeah. And another problem that I've noticed with modern Mario spin-offs is the lack of new recurring characters. So, in the 2000s, characters like Waluigi, Toadette, Rosalina, Bowser Jr., Petey Piranha, King Boo, all of those characters were added to the spin-offs and were recurring characters and kept being added to multiple games and everything, and they were just new additions to the core cast. But recently, there really hasn't been many characters that they've been adding on to the core cast of Mario spin-off characters, and it's kind of disappointing. Like, really, the only ones we've gotten recently are Pauline and potentially King Bob-omb. King Bob-omb was only, and I guess Charge and Chuck as well, they've only been in 2 games, so I really don't think that counts. But characters like Pauline, she's been in multiple games like Mario Kart Tour, Mario Golf, Mario Tennis. So I do like that they have been adding Pauline, but it is pretty disappointing that there aren't more new recurring characters. Like, I feel like that it would definitely help to make things more interesting and help to differentiate the different games if they actually added like new core characters to kind of mix things up a little bit. So, like, maybe things from Super Mario Odyssey and characters like that. I guess, I'm not sure if Cappy would really work as a character like that, but I mean, just introducing new characters in general, like I've been mentioning throughout the video, would just make the rosters of Mario spin-offs just more interesting in general. So, I kind of want to end this video off with kind of a glimmer of hope for the rosters of Mario spin-offs. So, I know it's been kind of disappointing over the past decade, but I do think things like Mario Kart Tour are definitely improving things, because Mario Kart Tour added characters like Pauline, King Bob-omb, ones that I have mentioned, but also characters like Kamek, Funky Kong, Dixie Kong, really interesting characters like that. And it's definitely a lot more interesting than the other rosters we've had over the past few years. And even partially, things like Mario Golf and Mario Tennis have been introducing characters that we haven't seen in any other Mario spin-off, like I think Chain Chomp in Mario Tennis and Ninja, Mario Golf. I think those are interesting picks, but I do think they could definitely take it farther and kind of add more characters from throughout the franchise just to make it interesting overall. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Twitter if you want to. Goodbye.